Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Build Your Copywriting Business podcast. Hey there, Kate.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So, we should tell you that we originally recorded this episode, like last year, in a burst of
Something like that.
optimism.
Yeah.
Because at the time, people were talking about vaccines, and we got really excited and thought, oh, soon everyone's going to be able to work outside the home and travel with abandon. Didn't quite work out that way.
No.
But that's okay because it gives us the opportunity to re-record this episode and do an even better version. So today we're talking, and barring any other global chaos, we're talking about getting up from your own kitchen table or your own office and actually being able to work outside of your home. Woo!
It's been a while since I've done it, to be honest. Since I left my home physically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so
But
maybe that's a good place to start. Kate,
yeah.
where are some of your favorite places to work outside of your home office?
Yeah, I always say the hotel lobby is my favorite one because you can go to some really, really nice swanky hotels. Like maybe you wouldn't pay to stay the night there, but you can hang out in a beautiful lobby space. They have Wi-Fi, and at the end of the day, you can go to the lobby bar and get a martini, get a cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fun change of scenery. You see people watching,
Yeah.
gets you out of the house.
Yeah, that was actually a tip that my dad had given me, obviously independent from you also doing it. And yeah, the thing is, if you just walk in and act like you belong there,
Yep.
nobody's going to question it. Also, you're not
Hmm.
bothering anyone, so
Yeah.
go in, get a different get a change of scenery, and yeah, to your point, pop over and get some coffee from their coffee shop or
Hmm.
whatever, if you want to support them, show appreciation for the fact that you're working from there. But I agree, lobbies at hotels can be a really, really great place.
Hmm.
Also, kind of standard go-tos are coffee shops.
Hmm.
It definitely depends on the coffee shop. I've been to some that have been just fantastic, exactly what you want, and then some where I've just noticed all the Starbucks near me. For some reason, all of the people that work there are shouting at each other, constantly shouting at each other. But then I learn and I go to a new place. My absolute favorite is it's still there, thank goodness. Is a little coffee shop kind of restaurant in Barcelona. There are a couple of them, but this one in the Gothic Quarter, the Federal Cafe. So if you're going to Barcelona, I can't speak to the other one,
Yeah.
but the Gothic Quarter, fantastic. The food is fantastic. The vibe is fantastic. I don't think I've ever been as productive as when I would sit down there in the morning, open my computer, get a cappuccino, and also full breakfast because it was very good food. But that's the thing about working outside the home is for me, and I think for a lot of people, and I know for you, having a different environment
Hmm.
opens up different realms of creativity.
Yeah, for sure. It's like taking a walk. And I know that can sometimes be valuable for people too, but just the change of scenery, getting fresh ideas. And frankly, sometimes it helps with focus for me. Sometimes it's just hard to focus in the house. You're distracted by, for me, it's, oh, there's laundry, or, oh, there's something to cook, or, oh, there's so many things you can do. So to remove yourself from that environment to a place that is essentially your office, and like going to an office where there's not really many distractions. I guess there are distractions, and depending on your office, but it's a work environment. It's made for work. You're not going to go take a nap in the library corner, which another great spot to go. I love going to libraries. They're free, obviously.
Mhm.
Most of them, I guess there are private libraries too, but most libraries are free. Free Wi-Fi, and some cafes now it might be a time limit on your table, or you obviously want to support them while you're there. Library, there's zero expectation of it. That's what it's there for. It's there for people to work, to read, to be, and it's quiet. It's very quiet. So if you need
Mhm.
a quiet area, but yeah, really helpful with focus.
Yeah, exactly. And I find that just being in a different environment, and yes, sometimes if it can be a little bit louder because it is actually a place of business, and put in your headphones or your earbuds, or whatever it is that you use, um, or you can even put on music in your earbuds as you're sitting. But the fact that you're not going to get interrupted. I know that some of us have, if we have kids at home or have significant others or roommates or what have you, sometimes the people around us don't understand that because we're home, it doesn't mean that we're available. That,
Mm-hmm.
and I know some people have had to put up like signs that say, unless somebody's bleeding, do not open this door, and that can work. But to your point, even just being in being in a separate spot gives you that physical distance from thinking about home activities and home responsibilities and all that kind of thing. And I will often too, if there's a part of my day when I know that I have to do brainstorming, or I know that I have to maybe start a new project for a client, or just start a new project, I will schedule time to go to a coffee shop for just a couple hours. My plan is not to spend the day there, but spend
Mm-hmm.
maybe an hour or maybe two, um, to jumpstart the work that I need to do, to start it completely fresh with a fresh brain and in a fresh environment. So that if you're like, well, what am I going to do? Spend 8 hours in a Starbucks? No, by no means. I don't think the people at Starbucks
I
would
have
like that
done
very
that
much.
before.
Have you really?
Oh yeah. Oh, if
Wow,
not 8, probably like 6, but yeah.
that's a
And it was
long
like
time.
a lot of caffeine. A lot of caffeine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
because
recommend it. Don't
these are
recommend it.
businesses with tables, and I think
Yeah.
Starbucks has kind of moved away a little bit from really encouraging you to come in with your laptop. They kind of do, but they're also kind of like, there are limited spots. So yeah, if you're going to be there for, I don't know, 12, 18 hours, the way that Kate is apparently, you do probably should keep purchasing to
Which, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They aren't just your free space. But on top of that too, there are co-working spaces, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily have to have a membership. You can get a monthly membership, but they also have limit, like 5 days a month, or
Mm-hmm.
drop-in passes that you can purchase,
Yep.
which is especially great if you are traveling and you don't want to maybe work in the hotel room or the hotel lobby. You can drop into a WeWork or co-working, or I forget all the other names for them, but there are
Yeah, and
also
there are a lot of
niche
independent
ones
ones too. Yeah,
exactly.
local ones. Yeah, I've been to a
Hmm.
few of those in Germany. I went to a bunch, and I think it's all about testing a few, because you might go to one, which I did. The first one, I was like, co-working spaces aren't for me, but it was really because I was the only woman and no one talked to each other, which was very interesting. People were very, very focused, even at the end of the day. Um, so it just wasn't the right community. But depending again where you go, they can be a great networking opportunity too. And I think if I gone back to this one, maybe after you see someone once, you're not going to necessarily become best acquaintances with them. But if you start going to someplace regular, you see some of the same people. Oh hey, oh what are you working on? What do you do? It's a great opportunity to meet other freelancers, other entrepreneurs, other folks that might need your services, potential clients. And so it can be a great networking and connection opportunity for connections there.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then when I was in North Carolina, I was in a small town and there weren't co-working spaces there, but it was about an hour north to Raleigh Durham area, and they had co-working spaces. So it's a great way to kind of get out of your bubble and meet new people.
Yeah, explore the area around you, and
Yeah.
that's important. If I love where I live, love my home, but everything is just one direction, so I have to take the same street to get everywhere, which I find deeply boring. So I will look for coffee shops that are in different towns that take me in a different
Hmm.
direction, because it's an opportunity to explore the other towns, and that's important where you live. But also, if you're either traveling and working, or if you're trying on that kind of digital nomad life, for
Hmm.
trying it on for size, as I've done, usually like 3 or 4 months at a time, which looking forward to getting back to that soon. It's a great way to explore, and it helps you add a little bit of structure to your day. You work in the morning and maybe go into, and there are a lot of areas that have dedicated spots for digital nomads or, meetup places. There are some places, we stayed at one in, oh, I forget which Central American country it was, but it was lovely. And it was a co-working and living place. So you would book a room there and you would stay there and sleep there. But then but everybody was digital nomads. So everybody was working during the day and then kind of socializing in the evening. So there are a lot of really fun opportunities if you're traveling as well. If you think, all right, well, I want to travel, but I need to get work done, but I also don't want to be because I've tried that too. Just like, all right, I'm sitting here in my Airbnb, you run into the same problems as when you're working from home. You might as well just be at home if you're not out exploring.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great reminder. I feel like if you are going to travel and work, take some time off somewhere in there. Take some dedicated time to actually vacation and enjoy wherever the place is that you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of, where are you working remotely from next?
Where am I working remotely from next? Wait, that's a great question. I
You have a lot coming up.
think I do have a lot coming up. Is it North Carolina? I think it's or is it Virginia? I probably should check my tickets. I don't know. I'm going somewhere. And then Milwaukee, I'm speaking at an event in Milwaukee, then Las Vegas, then down to Phoenix. And then I kind of might just keep going for a little while. We'll see.
Why not?
But that's the kind of the great thing about our jobs. I mean, if you're freelance, if you're on staff and they expect you to come into an office, it's a little bit trickier. But you might be able to negotiate some time to work away from home. But as long as, there are a couple of things that you have to make sure that you have, right? Wi-Fi is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
The nice thing is that more and more there's just Wi-Fi all over. The interesting thing is in many other countries outside of the US, and actually I don't know about Canada, I should find out, but in many other countries outside of the US, everywhere has Wi-Fi. A restaurant has Wi-Fi, every cafe has Wi-Fi. Like it's the standard is that, pubs have Wi-Fi. The standard is that they have Wi-Fi. Whereas in the US, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I feel like there are a couple of places that will have Wi-Fi, and otherwise it's like, best of luck to you. Use your data.
Starbucks will have Wi-Fi.
Starbucks will, Panera will,
Yeah.
Cafe Nero's will, a couple other places. But Wi-Fi is a non-negotiable.
And even if you think Wi-Fi, I'm going to find places that have it, my Airbnb has it, my hotel has it, whatever, bring a Wi-Fi device. Yes. I forget what they're called. We will link to it in our show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it with you because you need Wi-Fi if it goes out or if something happens. That's happened to me. And I've tried to tether my phone before, but then I'm in an area without cell service. Anyway, you want Wi-Fi.
Yeah, bring it with you, keep it charged. I've made that mistake too. Like, oh, I've got it. Oh, I didn't leave it plugged into the wall. It's not charged. Yeah. You may, depending on if you're, and not to go too far into the traveling, but if you're going further, you might want to look into a VPN just to make it a little bit easier to connect with things, to kind of mask your IP address if you're going to Central America. But there's just some little practical things that will keep you from getting into trouble. Yes, backup power, all that kind of stuff. But did we figure out what it's called? The thing that goes over your keys on your laptop?
So I call it a keyboard protector. We'll link to that
protector.
Too. It's like a little silicone mat, if you will.
Covery thing that goes over the keys. And
so you can still type. You can still type with it on.
Yeah. But the point is that if you are hypothetically someone who likes to work and snack at the same time, perhaps I am such a person, and you tend to get crumbs in the keys of your laptop. And even if you're like, there isn't any room to get crumbs in there. Oh, believe me. Even if you're on a Mac, you can absolutely get crumbs in there. When I was in Nicaragua, it was an extended stay. This was one of those 3 or 4 month stays. And I was working on my computer. This was such a cool place. We had an apartment and there was a pool within the apartment. And so the pool was open, the kitchen was open. And I mean, there were all kinds of different kinds of different kinds of pests, and you've never seen
Critters.
cockroaches so big. Yeah.
Ooh.
And then at night, a bat would come and dive bomb us as we ate dinner,
Mm.
but otherwise delightful. But my point was, I was typing, doing work for a client, and all of a sudden I noticed that I can't remember which one it was. But it was either the M or the R key wouldn't work, because of this one likes to snack while she does work. And I just assume crumbs had gotten in there. And I was like, first of all, real hard to write copy without M's or R's. And let's say it's R just for the sake of, I think it was an M. Anyway, real hard to write copy without M, but also the password to my computer before I had the touch entry, the password to my computer
Oh, no.
had M's in it. Now, luckily, I shook the computer a little bit, was able to dislodge it, but that protector is key. But that's another
Yeah,
good
it's
thing.
like $6 too, whether you're working
Yeah,
outside the home or not.
yeah,
Get one of those.
yeah. But you also need some kind of backup. If you're going to be
Yes.
traveling
Yeah.
far outside the home, you need some kind of backup computer, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
you're going to use a tablet, or whether you have like a just kind of a crummy, not super swanky computer, some kind of backup.
Yeah, backup chargers for all your devices. If you are traveling to another country, obviously the little adapter for the plugs,
Mm-hmm.
so you can plug it in and
Mm-hmm.
charge it. There's a little like brush you can get that
Oh.
can brush crumbs out. So should you notice crumbs going in, you can try to
Coax
get
them
them out.
out. Yes.
Yes.
Well, and I was going to say too, we think about, oh, chargers only if you're going long distance. If you're going anywhere with your computer, don't leave your charger at home. If you're like, oh, I'm just going to go to the coffee shop and
Mm-hmm.
if you're working on something, you need to be able to save it. You can't get to that moment where it's like, oh, your computer's going to shut down or if you're on a Zoom call with a client and, oh, your computer's going to shut down in 10 minutes unless you plug into something. If you don't have a charger, you're out of luck.
Yeah. Also, great reminder to have some sort of cloud storage. You need cloud storage regardless, but particularly should anything happen, should your backup computer fail, you can go to a library, go to their computers, get into your cloud based storage, whether it's Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever. But so all your files, you can access them regardless. Internet
Mm-hmm.
Cafe, I don't even know if they still have those, but you want a cloud-based solution so that if anything happens to your machine, it doesn't matter. It's saved. All of your documents are saved, auto-saving to the cloud.
When I think, we say like, oh, if anything happens, here's the thing. At
When
some
it
point,
happens.
exactly, at some point, something will happen. Your computer will not last forever. And
Yep.
there's never any like, oh, maybe this is, or maybe there's like, well, that's weird that it's doing this. And then the next day you try to turn it on and it's just blank screen. If
Yeah.
you have your work saved on your computer, and this is again, no matter where you are, if you have your work saved on your computer and not anywhere else, you are in big trouble. It's going to happen that your computer is going to die. The
Mm-hmm.
key is that you are not in trouble if and when it does. Again, not if, when it does.
Yeah. Some other things to think about when you're meeting with clients. You want a relatively quiet space. So being in the coffee shop working while you take that client meeting might not be the best place.
Mm-mm.
That's where co-working spaces, libraries can come in handy. They often have rooms that you can go to, like a study room or a private call room or whatever. So definitely note your meetings so that you're out and about. And speaking of clients, I know people say, well, it's up to you whether you tell them or not if you're traveling. I err on the side of tell your clients, especially if, just so they know,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, maybe you're setting boundaries, which I eventually did when I was in Germany for 4 years. I finally, by like year 2 or 3, it was pretty late, said, yeah, I'm not going to take calls after 9 o'clock my time. That gives clients all my clients were East Coast. It gave them till 3 p.m. their time. So the 3 to 5 o'clock hours for them were off limits for me. Um, Took some 10 and 11 o'clock calls, fine, but didn't want to make that a regular thing. So just having that conversation with my clients was much easier for me. Did I
Mm-hmm.
have to? Could I have said, yeah, I don't take calls after 3 p.m. Eastern? Sure. But depending what my Zoom background, I don't think they had Blur back then. see the
No.
Eiffel Tower outside my window or something.
Well, but and the thing is too is it doesn't have to be. You can put it in. You can tell them, but in a way that it's focused on them, right? Versus
Yep.
just so you know, I'm going to be overseas and da da da. It,
Yeah.
instead, go head into, hey, I just wanted to give you the heads up that I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling. I'm going to be doing a little bit of moving around. I'm going to be mobile, however you want to put it,
Yeah.
for the next couple of days or whatever. But I just want to make sure that you are aware that's not going to impact anything at all.
Hmm.
I've made sure that I have perfect Wi-Fi. We'll be able to have calls. Deadlines are everything is perfect as is. I just wanted to let you know that you might see a different background, but it's not going to impact a thing. When you convey it to your clients like that, what problem could they possibly have with it?
Yeah. And in fact, I mean, it's a benefit to them. I always laugh at a client who called me her copy elf because she would go to bed at night and I would be up, while they're sleeping, writing my copy. By the time they get to the office the next day, copy was already done for them. So using the time zones to your advantage is huge. And it's a huge benefit to your clients. Not that you have to turn around and work for your clients in 24 hours by any means, but there's just that benefit to, they go to bed. If you're up at 9 o'clock or even earlier, pretending I had a 6 hour time difference in my case. Obviously, the time
Mm-hmm.
difference might be more or less, but so 9 o'clock my time was 3 in the morning their time. Yeah. So by the time they signed on at 3 p.m. my time, I'd done almost a full day's worth of
Mm-hmm.
work. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
so here you go. It's such a benefit to them and to you if you want to use the time zones in your advantage that way, or vice versa. If you want to work their hours still, you could very reasonably work whatever your client's hours are or need to be for meetings and spend all of your daytime doing your sightseeing, having fun,
Mm-hmm.
having a good time before you sit down to work.
Yeah. I think for so many of us, if we have previously been in offices or maybe in offices for most of our working lives, the idea of being able to work from home is amazing, which I think a lot of people experienced in during the pandemic. Those who were able to keep their jobs. Um, it's like, wow, I'm working from home. Wow, I'm able to work from the kitchen table, or wow, I'm able to work from my home office. And that is, it's really, really awesome. But if you are not working on staff in an office, you have the opportunity to do even more than that. Yes, absolutely, work from home and enjoy that, and make that work for you. But we would not even challenge you, but just encourage you to take advantage of that. Yes, you've experienced working from home and it's really, really cool, but now step outside of that a little bit. Go work from a library or a coffee shop or or a hotel lobby, and then see what that brings to your day. See what that brings to your creativity. See if that makes it a little bit easier for you to be fresh when you are working from home. And then beyond that, we'd encourage you to, if you have the schedule, I know sometimes with family structures and kids in school and all that kind of stuff, but if you have the ability to travel as you work, or intersperse, give it a shot. It can be such a fun experience. I've always loved working in the morning, getting my stuff done, and then spending the rest of the afternoon exploring, whatever city or whatever country I'm in. We have this amazing opportunity. And maybe again, if you're on staff right now, maybe you don't have that opportunity at this moment, but eventually you may head in that direction. And if we have the opportunity to be working from anywhere, I think we kind of owe it to ourselves to at least try it sometimes, to try actually working from anywhere and seeing what that experience is like.
And then tell us all about it.
Yes. And then
Where
tell
you
us where
go,
you
what you do.
are so
Yeah.
we'll meet
Give
up
us
with you.
tips.
Yes. Okay, so your assignment, should you choose to accept it, we encourage you to, is to try working somewhere outside of your home this week. Pick a coffee shop, pick a hotel lobby, even if it's just for a couple hours, give it a shot. And then assignment number 2 is just do a little thinking. If you could travel somewhere while you were working and traveling, where would that be? Think about that. Let us know. Very, very interested. If you're anywhere near Barcelona, check out that cafe and check in and just let me know how it is. I'll meet you there soon. And so with that, we will catch you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Like what you heard? Hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And if you're ready to take the first step toward becoming a copywriter yourself, sign up for a free video training right here.